Good evening, welcome to Multi21 Community Racing channel. This is Big Easy bringing you live commentary of this evening's round 5 of our Season 6 Group 3 Century League Championship. So we'll start this evening's proceedings with a 15-minute practice session for the drivers to get warmed up, followed by a 15-minute qualifying session, followed by the main event itself and the Group 3 Interlagos. We're expecting a full lobby this evening. This championship is proving to be quite popular, full most weeks, and to date we're seeing some fantastic racing. In terms of the championship, the top 5 places are pretty tight. Well, the top 3, just 20 points separating first, second and third. 17 points further back would be 4th place, and then a bit of a gap into 5th. The top 5 have all played a joker so far this season, so a fairly level playing field for the rest of the championship and plenty of points to play for. Whilst drivers are warming up, we'll bring you a few interesting facts regarding Interlagos. Some you may know already, some may be new to you. However, the circuit is a real old, what we'd call an old throwback circuit to the 1940s. It was actually built in the 1940s. Prior to that, the planning permission had been passed to build houses on the site, but there was a property crash around about that time, and believe it or not, they decided not to build houses and they decided to build a racetrack. People didn't have enough money to buy houses, but they clearly had enough money to go and spectate motor racing. To be fair, I suppose going to a motor race is more exciting than buying a house. The circuit has been traditionally or familiarly known as Interlagos. Named so because the circuit nestles itself in between 2 man-made lakes. The lakes are 2 reservoirs supplying water, fresh water to Sao Paulo, and indeed some of its electricity supply. So 1978, 1979, the circuit was officially renamed to the Autodrome José Carlos Pace in memory of the Brazilian who won his only Grand Prix race at Interlagos in 1975. His life was taken in 1977 in a light aircraft crash, and the locals in Sao Paulo ran a campaign to have the circuit renamed in his memory, and so it happened. But like I say, today amongst racers, drivers and spectators, the circuit is still fondly referred to as Interlagos. Ayrton Senna, the famous Ayrton Senna, whose life was taken far too early in 1994 at Monza, comes from Sao Paulo, come from the streets, come into motor racing, and actually recorded 2 victories at his home circuit during his Formula 1 career. Michael Schumacher, one of the eternal greats, one of the legends, he's the most successful driver in terms of Grand Prix at Interlagos with 4 victories. There's a plethora of drivers next in line, 5 drivers with 2 victories apiece. Ayrton Senna being one of those, Alain Prost being one, Felipe Massa being one, Felipe Massa actually was involved in one of the most exciting finishes to a World Championship in 2008. He crossed the line, winning the race, believing he'd won the championship, only for Lewis Hamilton to approach the final corner, overtake Timo Glock in slippery conditions to take 5th place, and that was all Lewis needed to record his first World Championship. So elation in one pit and absolute devastation in the other pit. As it goes in terms of F1, Ferrari are the most successful constructor at the circuit with 9 victories. The circuit's a real tale of two halves. So turns 1, 2, the Senna S is named obviously after Ayrton Senna himself. Most common or the best overtaking spot is into turn 1. The overtake move can be approached on the outside or the inside. So a lot of guessing can go on down the home straight going into that corner. You'll see cars ducking and diving from the inside to the outside of the track. The bend in the inside may not be enough as the overtaking car sweeps around the outside and then has the inside for turn 2. If the door's left open at turn 1, the overtaking car will slip down the inside and have an ideal angle of approach for turn 2, although being on the outside, but then will favour the inside on turn 3, which follows rapidly. So 3 corners which lend themselves to overtaking at turn 1, either on the inside or on the outside. It's the heaviest braking point into turn 1. So critical that drivers get the braking right, or they'll find themselves in the extensive slippery runoff area on the outside of turn 1. Turn 4, another good overtaking spot. Turn 4 is at the end of what's called the opposite straight. It's cambered away from the car once you've turned into the corner, so quite tricky to stay within track limits. But it is probably the second or third most popular area to complete an overtake. Turns 4 and 5 are known as Lakes Descent. It's downhill and it's into the area that nestles in between the 2 man-made lakes. Turn 8, Little Orange, and followed rapidly by turn 9, Little Pine Tree. Sharp corners, sharp turn right, followed by sharp turn left, with all sorts of different cambers going on, both in between the corner and at turn 9, Little Pine Tree on the exit itself. Very difficult to basically to find your sweet spot and to navigate your trade through there. Looking for overtakes can be seen to be overcomplicating the issue. Just get yourself through 8 and 9 and think about overtakes later on. Turn 10, Duxbill, another good overtaking point. However, the front end of the car tends to wash away as it's a bit of it's cambered into the inside of the corner. Turn 11, known as Dive, basically because it dives down towards turn 12. Turn 12, junction corner. It's the most critical corner on the circuit. The exit of turn 12 leads on to essentially a very, very long straight. Although it does contain turn 13, turn 14, turn 15. In most cars, those corners are taken at full speed. Critical, the exit out of junction turn 12 to get a good run up the hill. It's a difficult one for cars, and power, absolutely critical. You're maximising the power out of the engine to get up onto the home straight. Turn 13 is known as Cafe. Goes back to the old days where if you were watching the race at turn 13, you could watch your favourite car come past. You head off to the cafe, get yourself a coffee and come back to turn 13 before that car comes back round to complete its next lap. Cars are moving a bit quicker these days. Turn 14, known as Up to the Pits, is literally just beyond turn 14 is the entrance into the pit lane. Turn 15, known as Bleachers. For the life of me, I have no idea. So like I said, the exit at turn 12 takes the car at full acceleration, full speed, all the way down to the entry into turn 1. It's one of the longest full throttle stretches on the F1 calendar. And it's only the likes of Monza and Spa, the Kebble Straight, that beats it in terms of length and the amount of time whereby the car is actually at full throttle. An interesting one for all of tonight's competitors. The GT3 real life lap record was set in 2018 in a Lamborghini Huracan by an Italian by the name of Victor Franconi, and he set a time in his Huracan of 1 minute 32.3. It'll be interesting to see how we do in GT3 cars in the world of sim. Any time now, practice session will be coming to an end and we'll be into qualifying. Wendigo sitting second in the championship on 217 points. So here we go for qualifying. We have 4 people watching at the moment. Welcome to you all. Get the word out and bring a few more along. So Belly in his checker flag liveried Mercedes. That's not the practice fella wants to be warming his tyres up with for qualifying. Justin in the Subaru. Falcon, Audi R8, Judicial in the Beetle, Vinny also in the Beetle. I'm not actually sure what the OP car would be here today. Belfast Bap in the GTR, Marky B in the Mustang, Wendigo, second GTR, Sherlock in the Porsche, Black Mamba in the Porsche, Carl Norton in the Porsche, Fire Woodman, Subaru, King Racer Porsche, Bella once again, Mercedes, fastest lap of the session so far, Belfast Bap with a 1:30.574. So that lap time makes a mockery of the GT3 lap record of 1:32.3. So the challenge I laid down at the start of commentary has already been smashed. Ivan, BMW M3 I believe. It's a rather striking livery from Vinny. Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, a misspent childhood chasing gold rings with Sonic the Hedgehog. I'd have been better off sim racing. Belfast Bap has extended his fastest lap time. We're now into the 1:29s. JJ, I think, has had a little off. He's carrying a bit of damage on the front of his car. We'll have a little ride with fastest man on the track at the moment. And approaching to Duckbill. turn 11, dive. Down into turn 12, junction. This is the one that's critical exit here. Carry as much speed through as you can. Keep good grip on the back end. Full throttle, oh, into the pits. I was about to say full throttle all the way to the entry of 1. We'll pick up with Wendigo. He's got good tyres at the moment, so I'm pretty sure he'll drive straight past the pit entrance. Center S's, curve of the sun. Light descent. Camber pulls away, pulls the car to the outside of the track with a nice big penalty waiting for you on the outside. Horseshoe. Little Orange, followed by Little Pine. Tricky two corners those. Round to the Duckbill. On the throttle for turn 11, dive. Looking for the braking point, turning it in, feed the power. Full throttle all the way to generally the last understeer sign on approach to turn 1 on the right hand side is where you'll stamp all over the brakes and then try and trail it to the inside of turn 1. So a nice demonstration from the second fastest man on the track at the moment. The amazing detail of GT7 graphics, even the writing on the tyre walls, you get that effect of where it appears as if the wheel is revolving backwards rather than going forwards. Attention to detail in the graphics and Gran Turismo is second to none. The most impressive that I can that comes to mind is when you're in cockpit mode and the clouds in the sky are reflecting off the dashboard inside the cockpit. Just immense detail. So as qualifying is nearing its end, the top two drivers are second and fourth in the championship. Bella is showing remarkable pace over the last couple of weeks and has been qualifying extremely well. A very competitive lap time that Jack has set in the first half of qualifying. In the second half of qualifying, as the fuel loads are starting to empty out, it's just testament to how quick that lap was, in terms that it's not been improved upon. But he's only 6 100s, 7 100s ahead of Wendigo when he goes in the pits. Does he have time for another flying lap? A very warm welcome to our 9 viewers. If any of you are not members of Multi21, sign up, get involved. Not only does Multi21 have leagues on GT7, also leagues on ACC, leagues on F1 22. There's also hot lapping competitions to take part in. So qualifying's at an end. We get ourselves ready for 38 laps of Interlagos. Jack, so it is, takes pole in the end by 4.5 hundredths of a second. Wendigo second. Bella third place. Excellent qualifying result for Bella. Marky B, again a great result for the Mustang, up in 4th place. Judicial 5th. Sherlock 6th. Finney 7th. Ivan 8th. King Racer 9. King Racer rather low down for his league standing. We'll see if he manages to progress through the field. Wibbly Wobbly Ant in the Porsche 10th. Black Mamba in the Porsche 11th. 12th Firewood Man. 13th Captain Slow. 14th Falcon. Lights out, away we go. Bad start from Jack. He's falling way back down. Wendigo at the front. Bella round the outside. Attacking straight away. Slots in behind. Beautiful clean turn one. Bit of bargy between Marky and Jack. Looking to recover from that poor start down the inside, and Sherlock follows him through. Judicial falling back now. So up front we can see Wendy is already carving himself out to lead. Bella hanging on in second place under immense pressure from Jack and Sherlock. Jack is in a quandary here of attacking and defending. Bella has spun out. I'm not sure if there was any naughtiness there, however Sherlock has had a spin. So we're starting to get gaps already, and we've not even completed lap one. Wendy goes away up the hill. Jack in hot pursuit. Judicial has been very solid, and basically had two of the easiest passes he'll probably make tonight, where the cars have just gotten out of his way. King Racer has made some fantastic progress from his grid position and is now up into fourth and closing. Sherlock's recovered from his spin, is settled into sixth position. Ivan in seventh. Justin has made remarkable progress up from the back of the grid into 8th place. Black Mama running 9th in his slipstream, Justin slipstream. Firewood Man. Looks like Falcon's backed out of that on approach into the dive. The dive is in the corner. So unfortunately Bella finds himself down at 14th place. I don't know if he's had another spin since, but he was running in 3rd place when he had problems on the exit of Little Pine Tree. So we'll stay with him a second as he approaches the same corner. Where's my TV camera gone? What is the matter with this game sometimes? Just apologies for the camera jumping. I am trying to get access to the TV cam. Ivan's picked up a penalty somewhere, running in 7th place. So, okay, so we'll stop up here for a little bit. We've got a bit of a battle here for 1st and 2nd. Quite a gap then down to 3rd, 4th and 5th, who are in a close battle themselves. Judicial, Vinny and King Racer. Jack is looking both inside and outside. He's gone for the outside. Wendigo is still there on his inside, but Jack's favourite now, and holds the inside line on for the exit of 3, and that completes the overtake. So Jack, after claiming pole and having a bad start off the grid, has fought his way back up to P1 and is now looking to pull away and eradicate the slipstream gap. Slipstream's normally effective from 0.75. Once again, apologies. I'm just flicking through and see if we can get our TV cam back. So we'll join this battle for 3rd. Judicial under lots of pressure from Vinny. Coming through turn 15. Vinny's up into 3rd, taking the inside line. Will Judicial contest? No, slots in behind. So 1st and 2nd place, basically the gap now is the whole of the opposite straight. So 14 seconds, 15 seconds from P3 to P1. 1.5 seconds between P2 and P1. So looking at the monitor to see if we've got any battles. I think we've got back of the field, there's quite a bunch. So I think judging on his pace in qualifying, I think Bella's the one that's out of position at the moment, so we should be seeing him making some progress through this little group. Wibbly wobbly with a 0.5 second penalty. So I'm pretty sure Ivan will be taking P11 shortly. Oh, and Falcon's picked up a half-second penalty coming out of 12. That pretty much guarantees Bella that position. So Bella the man is on the move at the moment. Last week, on last week's race in the rain, struggling with this TV cam, it disappears, and then randomly later on it will come back again. I'm having the same problems again this week. If anybody is watching, any idea what the bug is or how to get around it, feel free to drop us a message. So looking ahead up front, Jack's pulled quite a healthy gap now out in P1. Wendigo is settled in P2, and it's a long way back then to Vinny in P3. coming to the end of lap 6 and the field is pretty well spread out. We just have this group here, which is the closest to the action will be at the moment. Jack's though it is, has set a fastest lap time, that's even faster than his pole lap, 2/10 faster than his pole lap. I wonder if there was any slipstreaming to aid that, or he's just hit an absolute bang on lap. So I just come out of the spectator mode just to see if we could get the TV cam back, and I've got it back. So that's a workaround worth noting for fellow commentators. And we shall get back down to this battle. So it looks like Ivan's about to make a move on Captain Slow. Ivan coming round the outside, Captain Slow on the inside, holds the position for now. Ivan down the inside for turn 4. Got his BMW in front. Can he hold the camber? Oh, that was close. On the white line. Perfection. Completes the overlay. Wibbly, having watched that in front of him, is now taking his turn. And he's also through on the inside of turn 6, turn 6. Stick with Captain Slow and see if we can make a response to those, dropping those 2 places. Well, let's catch up with Bella. Bella was the car that was on the move. Qualified extremely well, had a spin in lap 1, dropped him right down to the back of the field. He's currently running in P8. There's quite a gap though to Marky, although Marky's in the pits getting shots of his soft tyres, and by the looks of things needs to drop a few. Bella's come into the pits, Ivan's into the pits. So the surprising thing is the pace that Jack and Wendigo have been going at out at front, and the gap that they've opened up, and yet they still have enough fuel to carry on. Interesting. So nothing exciting about watching the car in the pit, so we'll go somewhere else. Jack's into the pits now, and Wendigo's into the pits. Wendigo was on medium tyres. Now that's very interesting. A slight deviation on normal strat. Let's try and keep an eye on what tyre he actually jumps onto. Will it be hard saving these softs for the end of the race? The amount of fuel that's going in, I'd imagine he's jumping onto softs. Full tank of fuel for Jack. So Jack on the medium tyres, a full tank of fuel. Wendigo has gone for the softs, 3-second stint. Not quite a full tank. So it'll be interesting see how this battle develops between the top two. Looking at the monitors for some action, and might be a little bit up ahead. So Judicial and King Racer. Judicial all over the back of King Racer's Porsche. Yeah, so we got the Van cousins here, the VW Beetle and the Porsche. Vinny's gone into the pits from P1, which he inherited once Jack and Wendigo had gone in for their stop. He's made his fuel last a long time, and he was also running on the medium tyre. So, interesting strategy from a couple of drivers. King Racer and Judicial have come into the pits, and they were running on hard tyres. So, there's quite a mix of strategies going on in the early stages. Jack has inherited his P1 once all cars are now completing their pit stops. Wendigo is 2.3 seconds behind. Wendigo's on the soft tyre now and Jack's on the medium tyre. Jack's also carrying a little bit more fuel. So we'll see if he can maintain this gap. Maintaining the gap will be a victory in itself for him. 20, getting on for 22 seconds now, back to P3. So it just shows the pace that these top two have managed to put together, and the consistency, of course. I'm amazed, we're on lap 11 now, and barring those couple of skirmishes and little trips off the tarmac that we've seen in lap 1, which would have been down to combination of overzealousness and cold tyres. But since then, everybody seems to be settling down, and they're lapping this circuit remarkably well. That was Wendigo's personal best for the race so far. A 130.6, so 0.9 away from the fastest lap. So Captain Slow seems to be pretty close to somebody. Yep, he's coming up behind. That was a phenomenal turn, 12. Wow. He cut all of the apex, used all of the outside curb, carried loads of speed up into the power straight, as we call it, and he's actually closed the gap a little bit now to Ivan. The gap's 1.2, 1.1. Ivan pulling away again, following his trip through the S's. I'm watching this little battle, but Captain Slow gains the position. Ivan has paid a visit to Never Never Land. Rejoins the circuit. There's a healthy gap to P12, so it won't be as punishing as it could have been. So the race leaders are coming up now to lap some of the back markers. This is where commentators start to lose complete track of where cars are once they start being lapped. But Wendigo has closed the gap to Jack to less than a second. He'll be hunting for slipstreams shortly. Remember, Wendigo's on the soft tyres for this stint, Jack is on the medium tyres. Jack also put approximately 15 litres more fuel into his car, so he's also carrying a bit more weight. Blue flags out for the back markers. Jack making his way past the marquee. Wendigo hanging on for the last bit of slipstream off the back marker. To launch himself towards Jack, he's now closed the gap at the entry to the centre S's to 0.6. So he'll have slipstream down the opposite straight. Don't think he's close enough to make a move. Jack might be picking up some slip off back markers ahead of him. Safely through the dive. This will be frustrating, Jack. He'll be, be very aware that Wendigo is on the quicker tyre and he's having trouble with these back markers in the tight section of the lap. Wendigo's almost pushing him through that corner. I am pretty certain we're going to see a move now up the power straight. Wendigo's impatient to get on with it here. So here we go. Back markers need to pull away and let this battle get on with it. I think that's Firewood Man, one of the back markers there. He left it very, very late to let them lead us through into the corner, but he's let them through. We got a battle here now. Jack defending the inside. Indigo stays put. He'll be looking now to stay as close as he can in this tight section and perhaps prepare himself for a move up the hill onto Power Straight. This is quality racing. So Wendigo firmly in the slipstream, up the power straight. What shenanigans are we going to see down the straight here? Well, Jack's not particularly defending this time. Takes the outside line into turn one. Wendigo has tried to slip up the inside. He's just made a slight touch with the rear quarter of Jack's car, and that's put the front of his car into a bit of a slip, and he's found the grass. He must be absolutely devastated. Well, he can knuckle down, get some pace together and catch himself back up. So let's go see where we can find. It's a fantastic battle that Jack had been he'll have felt the knock and been so relieved that it didn't upset his car sufficiently enough to take him off the track. So, unlucky Wendigo, get your head down. Get yourself back up there for the latter stages. You'll both be on hard tyres, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a right royal battle. So I'm just looking for this. So Firewoodman, Black Mamba. Whilst they're being lapped, they've got their own little bit of a battle here. So these two guys in P12, P13, they're actually carrying some hot pace at the moment. Wendigo is struggling to close these down anytime soon. He's making moves now. Firewood Man left the apex open. Good sporty driving. Very aware of what's going on around him. Well done. I'm going to check in with Justin. Oh, we'll stop with Bella. Bella's in P8. Still got an 11.5 second gap to King Racer in 7th, and he's 1.2 ahead of Multi21. So it's a pretty sterile situation there. So, Justin. Is that flash, Justin? I know Justin likes to have the stream on while he's racing. A little flash there to say hello. Yeah. He's too busy concentrating, I suppose. So Wibbly Wobbly's actually closing up on Bella at the moment, and it's about the closest battle that we've got on track. Very, very spread out field. Wibbly Wobbly had a bit of a shaky moment on the exit of turn 3, and he may have picked up a penalty on the exit of 4. We'll see how that develops. Yeah, both cars have picked up a penalty. So it's still all game as regards the race between these two. Cars are going to be held up shortly, but Wibbly Wobbly is right on the bumper. Maximum slipstream. Is he going to make a move into turn 1? We've seen some great action at turn 1. Bella holds the tight inside line, wibbly wobbly, took the outer faster line. No attempt to overtake, just sitting on the back of Bella. Will he make a move into turn 4? I think he's quite close enough, to be fair. Bella's defending, but all good defence there from Bella. Will this make the wibbly wobbly a little bit desperate in this tight section? Looking for a round the outside move, setting himself up for inside on the next corner. Not close enough. This little battle is still the closest battle on the circuit at the moment. Looking at the monitors. We'll have a catch up with Wendigo and see how he's recovering from that attempted move into turn 1 that ended in unfortunate disaster for him. So, is Wibbly going to make a move here? We might have a little bit of a stalemate here, basically as a consequence of the cars that the two drivers are driving. The Mercedes is extremely quick and powerful in a straight line, whereas the Porsche is quite nimble in the corners and better balanced. We've seen this a few times now during the season where the Porsches and the Mercs have come up against each other. The Porsches are all over the Merc in the corners, making it difficult for the Merc, but if the Merc can keep its nose in front, once it gets onto the power sections, it's a way down the road. Wibbly has picked up another penalty on the exit of 4. Might be getting a bit of washout, dirty air off Bella. Wendigo is back in the pits already. That's interesting. I can't see what his tyres were like. His tyres must have been destroyed. So Jack is, well, he's a week and a half out in front at this stage, 41.5 seconds. He'll just be concentrating on keeping it nice and clean. Be interesting to see what he has to say at the end of the race regarding his pole position. He dropped way down the field. I think he ended up in 5th place off the grid. He's done remarkably well to get himself back up to the front, and not only back up to the front, but to have such a commanding lead with just over half the race completed. Jack is sitting 4th in the championship at the moment, and if he can maintain this lead, he'll certainly make up a few places. He's a lap ahead of everybody, up to 10th P. So we have a nice little battle here for the podium with Sherlock and Vinny having a little bit of a ding-dong. Porsche versus Beetle. It's a bit of a Porsche sandwich because that's a Beetle that's behind Sherlock as well. I can't. Yes, Judicial is actually closing the gap to Sherlock, so that's a developing sandwich. But Sherlock is very, very interested in the back of Vinny. Keeps looking at the inside line, side by side through the dive. Interesting approach to turn 12. Oh, Sherlock backs out of that one. And Judicial takes what an opportunistic move. Fantastic. But Sherlock backs out of running side by side into turn 12. And Judicial goes, yeah, I'll have that, and gives it full beans. Great move from Judicial. Can you bring any pressure to bear on Vinny? Wendy goes out of the pits now, and I'm assuming he's on hard tyres, but that is only an assumption. I don't know for definite. Oh, Sherlock, as he picked up a penalty. Wendy goes flying. Sherlock's on hards. Wendy goes on hards. Sherlock's hard tyres are a bit sorry for themselves at the minute. Wendigos are on fresh. I'm pretty sure he'll be making his way past Sherlock shortly. Judicial's tight up on the, getting tight to the back of Vinny. Sherlock don't have fond memories of this turn 12. Sherlock's getting low on fuel as well, so he'll be coming into the pits shortly. Be interesting to see what tyres he jumps onto. Wendigo wants past, and he wants past now. Showing his nose to the inside, and the fresher tyres, he completing that move. Great move, well done. So Judicial is even closer now to the back of Vinny. So 2 laps later we got a replay of this approach into turn 12. So Judicial in slipstream range. Wendigo is now closed right up on the back of Judicial. Judicial's tyres are absolutely shredded. Wendigo's going to make this move here. Another textbook inside overtake. He was a smidgen of paint on Judicial's car just to make sure he knew he was there, and completes the pass. Wendigo up into 3rd place. Vinny's on pretty worn out hard tyres, so Wendigo's going to close in on him as well very shortly. Jack is 44 seconds down the road. Now I know Jack filled up with fuel in his pit stop, so he's in the pits now. He shouldn't need to put any fuel in. keep an eye on Wendigo making an overtake on Vinny in the tight section. The fresher tyres paying dividends. He's up into P2. So where is he going to be when Jack comes out the pits? Are we going to have a grand finale? A mini sprint within the top honours. So, darkness is falling, the cars have got their headlights on. My next amazing stat for Interlagos is there's 24 floodlight pylons around the circuit. And the lights on top of each pylon are actually movable to focus on any area of the track. And they emit 150 lumens, which is the measurement of light brightness. 150 lumens of light. And to put that into context, your average football ground, the floodlights there will be showing 100 lumens of light. So, pretty powerful stuff. Looking around the circuit, I can't see if the actual floodlights have actually come on yet, or if indeed they do in GT7 world. So Jack's out of the pits. Wendigo's approximately 7 seconds behind them. So 12 laps left to go. I think it's a bit of an ask, to be honest, but Wendigo will certainly be giving it a go. Vinny's dropped down into third, but he's coming under pressure from Judicial. Vinny's tyres ain't empty at all. How's Judicial looking? Oh my days. I can't see him making a pass anytime soon. He'll be into the pits probably this lap. Vinny's got a little bit more fuel that he can use and stop out for a bit longer if he wishes. I'm not sure what tyres he's got left to go on to. But in another 2 laps he will be in the window for softs. Again, we'll stay with this battle for third and fourth. There's nothing else competitive around the track at the moment. Wendigo's closed the gap slightly to P1. But we'll keep an eye on the Delta, and if anything's looking exciting, we'll jump on board. Wendigo just lapping Ivan in P12. He's 6 seconds behind Jack. $133 since he came out of pits. Jack's got fresh tyres on, and his first lap on the fresh tyres was also on 133. Battle from the 8 and 90s getting pretty close. Wibbly Wobbly versus Marky B. I hope you're all enjoying this race and impressed by what you see. It's a far cry from what you see on the daily races. Punt along, as I call it. Push to pass. Come to Multi21 racing community and see guys of all ability and all skill set racing together, respecting each other, clean passes, obeying flags. There's a comment in the testimonials. It's brilliant being able to race and trust the actions of the car alongside you. Anybody who's ever, I'm sure a lot of us have done go-karting, but on a real life track, if you don't have that trust, you don't have a race, you don't have competition. At Multi21 Community Racing, you have that competition. You have that awareness and that determination. So, get on board, sign up, spread the word, tell your mates. Half the world plays GT Sport. And half of that world that plays GT Sport is sick to the back seats of the crap that goes on in daily racing. Come to the Multi21 leagues and have fun. Now we just check back in as we start getting into the closing stages of the race. That gap between first and second is now 6.9. So I think Jack is just controlling things from the front of the field now. Wendigo will push on, but he'll be keen not to make any more mistakes. But the gap down to third place is almost 43 seconds now. So for first and second, at least, it's predominantly about just keeping it nice and steady and solid and finding the checkered flag with a nice clean motor. Judicial has got past Vinny at some point. Vinny's been into the pits and he's on softs. Judicial's on softs. So those guys have indeed completely reversed the strat. They'll be looking for a fast finish. However, I don't feel that they will be any threat to first and second with 8 laps of the race left. So it's going to be a bit of a ding-dong battle between these two to the end. Both on softs, both on light fuel loads, and both relatively fresh. We'll stick with Vinny. See some great overtaking from Wendigo earlier on in the race, although his mishap was an attempted move into turn 1. Vinny's having a good look at the back of Judicial now. I'm sure he'll be thinking about turn 12. So Vinny takes a wide approach into turn 11 to get a slingshot down to 12. Can he make a move up the inside? He's put Judicial under pressure. He missed the apex. Vinny's missed the apex himself, but he's now got the power straight. Vinny on the inside. So very respectfully, Vinny has allowed Judicial to hold on to that position. No pushing him wide, no push to pass manoeuvre there. Vinny's having another go down to turn 4. He's on the inside, but Judicial just has just enough pace. They both survived the penalty. And this battle is going right into turn 5, turn 6. Then we have Little Orange and Little Pear 3, Little Pine 3 I should say. A move can be made at Little Pine 3, but the approach needs to be right and you need to be able to rely on good traction on the exit to complete the overtake. No move there, so Vinny's obviously thinking about turn 12 again. Judicial trying to get tight onto the apex, compromises his exit. This could be Vinny's opportunity now. Draws alongside. Past the pit entry, they're still alongside. Down into turn 1. Surely Vinny must complete the move here. Hooks up the apex perfectly. Storms away out of the exit of 3. That overtake's complete. Judicial has got slipstream down into turn 4, but not close enough to make any threat. Oh, so a penalty there for Sherlock in the background. So Jack has extended his lead over Wendigo out to 9 seconds, so there's no action to be had at the front of the field. Jack will just be looking to keep it nice and solid. Got 5 more trips round this circuit to complete in order to take the checkered flag. Can't see anybody tightening up in the field for an exciting finish, but we will have a scoot round shortly. So Vinny's pulled out a gap big enough to eradicate slipstream. So the Judicial's going to have to work incredibly hard if he wants to reclaim that podium position. Ten seconds now, the gap to P1 for Wendigo. I think Ivan's looking to unwrap himself. He's certainly staying close to Wendigo. Jack, looking to come and lap Wibley in P8. I was going to jump in and have a little ride with Jack as he laps. Oh, Wibley has pulled over, let him through. Fantastic sportsmanship. Well done, Wibley. So just have a look at where Bella has ended up. It's a fantastic qualifying session. He's down in P9 at the moment. Bella will be looking to, he's certainly got pace. He'll be looking to build on consistency, or maybe opt for a better handling beast in future leagues. It's gone wide. Oh, that was quite bizarre. Has he got a bit of a latency problem on his internet connection? Possibly. King Racer, who's the league leader at the moment, championship leader at the moment, down in P6, pretty much on his own at this stage with 2 laps to go. Firewood Man has got P2 behind him. Let's see if he pulls to one side. Yes, he goes out wide and actually compromises himself, unfortunately. But again, good sportsmanship shown. So as the race is drawing to a close and the night falls over into Lagos, we have gotten, everything seems to be pretty much settled. Sherlock's just had a late spin, finds himself in P6. King Racer is promoted to P5. They're valuable points. Judicial is now 1.5 seconds behind Vinny, so I don't think he'd be putting any pressure on for that podium place. Wendigo's 10.5 seconds behind P1. So we'll stop with Jack. He's earned some attention. He's commanded this race from the off, despite a hiccup in getting off the line from pole position. He holds the fastest lap of the race. So pretty dominating. Are we seeing a move for P? No, we just got some back markers in the mix again. I thought I had Judicial making a move on Vinny, but he's dropping back even further. He's 2 seconds away from that podium place, so pretty settled this race now. So we'll stick with Jack. He's on his final lap. So So fantastic race. We've seen a few cars off the circuit, but not as a consequence of dirty racing, argy-bargy, just driver error in the search for consistency. Jack's coming up the hill now, round the final corner, past the pit entry. The flag's waiting for him. Congratulations to Jack, P1. Wendigo, P2. Vinny coming for the flag in P3. That Vinny livery certainly comes to life in the dark once the light starts bouncing off it. Well done, Vinny, P3. You can see Judicial P4 coming across behind him. King Racer in P5. Sheer Luck, P6. Bit of consistency, you'd have finished higher up. Was that a curse? The commentator's Midas touch strikes again. Marky B to take P7. Bell ends up with a pretty decent P8 to be fair, but he did show a lot more promise in qualifying. However, I'm sure he'll be telling everyone in the interviews afterwards that Merc is an absolute fucking bastard on these corners, tight corners. I'd expect to see Bella do quite well when we get to Monza. So once again, well done to Jack. Another race win. Thank you all for joining us for tonight's live stream of our Group 3 Championship. Pleasure to commentate, and I shall look forward to next week. Have a good time. Ta-da!